Good day everyone and welcome to Exile News, the weekly show that brings you all the important news and informations on Path of Exile. And the first news this week has been a community showcase which hasn't been on the news for quite a while, and I'm glad it's back because it's always interesting. You can see some really great fan art. Most of it is fan art, but there's also some music remixes at the end, so if you're interested again in this kind of things, definitely check the link I'll put in the description below for this thread, and there's more where they came from. Also, we got the skill revamps part 2. So the last week GGG came with a couple skill revamps. They told what they were going to do, and they talked about a couple skills that they want to make better, to improve. And this time it's about traps. So first one is fire trap. The biggest thing is they are thinking of completely removing the cooldown from the fire trap, which means you can just throw it as much as you want. Also, fire trap should deal additional fire damage to burning enemies, which means you can actually continue to throw it over an enemy and it will work, it will deal additional damage. So that's pretty interesting. I feel like fire trap definitely needs some kind of improvement ever since they removed, or they nerfed, and rightfully nerfed, the AoE on the burning radius that we had back then, which was extremely large. And fire trap is planning to become a level 12 skill, so this will affect racing a lot because it's not gonna be a level 1 starter skill anymore. Always see how that goes. Bear trap is going to get changed, and it should still deal a lot of damage on a single target. However, GGG wants it to apply a debuff to enemies that increases the damage they take from traps and mines. So it's gonna become pretty much a needed thing to have, even unlinked, just or maybe with increased duration, just to get this debuff. Also, it should hinder enemies. Besides immobilizing them, it should hinder them when they get out of the mobilization. We'll see how that goes, but the biggest part is definitely the increased damage taken. Also, lightning trap is going to get some love, and it will have a higher crit strike chance, also gaining a large increased critical strike chance against shocked enemies. So that will definitely make lightning trap a very critical oriented build or skill. And there's also going to be a new trap specific support gem, which apparently will give you a chance to generate both power and frenzy charges when your traps are triggered, also giving you crit strike multi for each power charge and increased throw speed for each frenzy charge. And when you read these two lines, it feels like this gem is absolutely amazing. Very, very strong, definitely, especially if you can sustain your charges against bosses, because it's when traps are triggered, so it should work on bosses as well, and it should make this gem the first gem used for trappers, and should actually be really, really strong, because power and frenzy charges, that's actually a lot of damage. Also, there's going to be a couple changes to the shadow starting area, where you will have just passives that increase trap damage right away, so you won't have to decide between using elemental or physical damage just from level 1. So that's definitely interesting. I can feel trapper are becoming a thing, and we'll have to see, because all of these changes are going, if the next update, maybe later, we'll have to see. Also, GGG came at us with how they made Path of Exile ROYALE, and to cut it short, they decided they had to do an April Fool's. Their previous joke wasn't good enough, so they thought about this Battle Royale, and they created a list of the things that needed to be done, and they realized that pretty much for every point there was one developer who could use just one day. So they actually tried it, and it went really, really well. So they also went and said, what is the future of this game mode? And well, there's been so many requests to bring the mode back that it's pretty much obvious that they will be running again in the future. Probably they will actually use the dead times between leagues, maybe. That should be actually interesting. Putting some Royale from one league and another could actually work into keeping the game alive in those periods. Also, they might even think about making it a self thing. I mean, kind of like what happened for Fortnite, which just made this mode and pretty much forgot the main game because no one cares about it anyway. But GGG is really careful because they don't want to kind of create problems for the main game too much, because they know that their main thing is the game itself and not the Royale. So it's definitely coming back. We don't know when, we don't know for how long, but it's definitely coming back, and maybe with a twist, knowing GGG, they can actually improve the game genre. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's gonna be very interesting. Also, there was a small patch which added a couple of uniques, a new fatal uniques, some 3D arts, and a lot of bug fixes pretty much. And you can see the new fatal uniques right here, and it has a level 20 blinding aura when equipped, which gets automatically triggered. So it probably blinds enemies within a radius or has a chance to do so, and has a lot of increased critical strike chance against the blinded enemies. Also, increases and reduction to light radius also apply to accuracy, and I find this really interesting. Not sure if it's the first mod to actually work on light radius, but it's still really good. I think there needs to be a lot more weapons using light radius, because right now light radius is absolutely fucking useless, except maybe if you are low life with 100 life and you can see anything, okay, but for the most part light radius is totally useless. So it's great to see these kind of items that actually use it for something. Even if it's conversion to something else, I still think it works pretty well. Also, lastly in the week, but still very interesting, is the second episode of the build of the week, and this time it's a Scorching Ray Totems Hierophant using also Righteous Fire. So Righteous Fire as the main skill, as the main clear for most of the white trash monsters, and then when there's a tough enemy you drop a couple Scorching Ray Totems, which actually do a lot of damage and also decreases very quickly the fire resistance of the enemies, so that your Righteous Fire deals even more damage. And this is a pretty safe build because it's mostly totems, of course. It's also a pretty easy build to do on solo self-found, so it's definitely really good all-around build. It's really strong, can kill pretty much everything if you gear it the right way. So if you want a character that's easy to play and does pretty much everything, you can probably check this out. Might not be so easy for beginners, but it's still pretty good, so definitely check it out. Very interesting build. And I guess that was all for this week, so if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment down below. Also, if you want to remain updated every week, be sure to subscribe to my channel. So that was all. I've been your host Giorgio, and I'll see you guys the next time.